and 6 to go.
Makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak and visit victory lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slow down, hop these curves, up and over. There's that cannon with a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over, down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
Race 5, the 2019 Virtual Racing League season, takes us to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, one of the oldest racetracks in the United States. And for good reason, it's held some of the biggest races in the world, including the annual Indianapolis 500 and the Brickyard 400 for NASCAR. But tonight, we take the Xfinity cars around this 2.5-mile oval, and it's time to go racing in race number 4. And Eli Hinton is not going to be here tonight after winning the last race at Bristol a couple weeks ago. We've had a few weeks off to kind of debrief. We go from one of the smallest tracks to one of the biggest in Finian. There is nothing quite like the Brickyard.
Yeah, indeed. Remember how we were just talking about the thumbnail earlier? It's race 4, not race 5.
I give up. I'm going home. That's all right.
All right, yeah, but you're here for race 4 here at Indianapolis as he walks into the bathroom. And yeah, so he actually closed the door. All right, so we can get someone on the track. So there's Evan Adams.
Okay, so let me just provide some background to that before I just look ridiculous. Basically, this entire week I've been struggling getting the thumbnail correct for the Virtual Racing League. It took me 3 tries, and then I screwed it up in the intro. So we're doing great so far. But welcome to another Friday night of Virtual Racing League action. There's Evan Adams in the number 59. He's working his way around. But how about a couple new guys out here tonight, Finney? And there's Richard Thomas in the number 14. He's driving a Mustang here this evening, one of the Wood Brothers Motocraft Fords. And then there's another driver in here. Let's see, where did he go?
On the top.
Mark Kerrer in the number 9. He's also in a Mustang. A steel on the side of that car. That's a good-looking paint scheme. He's currently in 3rd and dropping down the order as other lap times come on through. But Indianapolis is an extremely technical racetrack, and it takes a lot to be good here. But this is kind of a track designed for higher speed, higher downforce cars, not necessarily stock cars. And that's what we have here tonight. So how do you have to adjust yourself? Be quick around here.
You gotta be very careful. You have to drive pretty much on edge for all the 40 laps we're gonna have here tonight. Pretty short race, but it only make the race honestly more exciting, as Indianapolis tends to be one of the duller races on the schedule in stock cars. Just because, again, this track was not designed with these cars in mind. So, but with the lower amount of laps, it should be a really fun race up ahead. And these guys, again, they got to be very careful. This is pretty much a 1-lane racetrack. The pass here is going to be very tough and very hard to pull off.
Let's ride on board with Alec Martinez, who I think finished 7th at Bristol a couple weeks ago. And as he crosses the start-finish line, we head down into turn number 1 at over 190 miles an hour. You have to hit these apexes perfectly. It's a single-groove racetrack. If you miss your apex, you're going to go for a ride up into the safer barriers in turns 1 and 2 or turns 3 and 4. Now, notably, we did realize that the turn entrance speeds for turn 1 and turn 3 have seemed to be different depending on the track conditions, which right now are about 108 degrees on the track time. That's pretty toasty, and it's not going to be very grippy out there for drivers tonight.
Yeah, and once if we do see a big cloud, as actually speaking of a big cloud, there's one right up there, big cloudy out here today. But big cloud does block the sun, and we're in some shade. You'll see the track temp drops, and you'll see a lot of action going on the track. These guys might be able to go side by side for a bit. But also another factor too is to watch out. These guys need to watch out for the tires wearing out, because you're already close to the wall as it is with the way these cars run, and if you're not careful, you can easily pound the wall at some point in time over the course of a run.
Yeah, and we actually saw riding aboard with Alec Martinez, and we'll do this with Jeremiah Vincent as well. 190 off into turn 1, but watch the speedometer here as we get down to turn number 3. We saw 194 there. We saw 196 by the 18 down into turn 3. So there's about a 5 to 10 mile an hour difference between turns 1 and turn 3 in terms of entrance speed, and that's really going to change the handling of your race car, especially following right behind the driver in front of you. All that dirty air is going to make for a wild ride in the pack.
Yeah, and as you see, qualifying finished up there. And notably, too, a lot of the field did not put down a qualifying time. Only 9 cars put down times.
And I'm really surprised by that because Indianapolis tends to be a racetrack that you need to qualify well because track position is very important here. It's very difficult to pass. We mentioned single-line racetrack. There's a lot of load on the tires in the corner, so you really can't try any other grooves. You're stuck to that middle or that bottom lane. If you get rooted up out of there, you're going to the back. So starting up front is key, and I'm surprised we saw so many drivers avoid the qualifying lap. But now you see the field getting ready down below on that long front straightaway. Let's take a look at our track map here. 2.5 miles, 4 corners. You see the start-finish line all the way towards the turn 1 side of the racetrack. But another thing to keep in mind, Fanny, is how long pit road is. It's almost twice as long as the number of cars we have here tonight in terms of the number of stalls. So what that means is that if we ever get to green flag pit stops, getting on and off pit road, very important to conserve your track position.
Yeah, and also it's pretty difficult if we can get that angle coming out of the camera coming off of turn 4. You'll see that pretty difficult to get on here. These guys have been coming up right against the wall here, and it's not like an IndyCar where you can just dart over. You have to start slowing down on the exit of the corner and then turn in and also slow down before you get to the yellow cones, which importantly they're before the pit road starts. They're not inside the pit road like you see for the Indy 500. So you guys got to make sure they slow down in time, slow up enough, otherwise you can get a pit road speeding penalty. And
look at the famous pagoda here at the start-finish line. And winning at the Brickyard is something that every driver wants to do. And now it might not be the Indianapolis 500, but either way, I mean, this is winning in one of the biggest houses of American racing. There's Daytona, there's Darlington, there's Charlotte, but then you come to a racetrack like this, and just the air around the race is different. And again, we mentioned how this is not exactly a perfect match for these cars, but that's what makes it kind of fun. It's like putting an F1 car on a dirt track almost. It just does not belong. Maybe not to that extent. It just doesn't belong, though. And that's what makes things pretty interesting. Let's also take a look at our point standings after last 2 weeks ago, the race. Bailey Turner continues to sit at the top of the point standings with Elliott Butler 1 point behind, so close up front. I think Butler is not... Oh, he is here tonight. I thought he looked like he had hurt himself in work earlier. I was going to miss it, but he's still here. Eli Hinton is tied for, looks like 8th in the standings or 9th in the standings, but he is not going to be here tonight. Alec Martinez in 12th. He's got some room to move up after a pretty decent finish at Bristol a few weeks ago. Adam Cabot in the 18th spot is also, I believe he's here tonight in the, yes, the number 77, he is here. So there's your championship standings. Yusuf Ghali in the number 1, all the way back in 27th, and he is here tonight. So he has only made a couple starts, but run again this evening. So we got about 20 drivers here tonight. It was actually a pretty good turnout. I was surprised. I was expecting it to be a little bit down this week, just for really being in Indianapolis in a stock car. Usually not a popular combination, but nice to see a lot of the drivers out here this week and ready to get going. And it's going to be that 33 AJ Stravado who's leading the field on to green. I'm sure he's happy to be up in the front. He's alongside Alec Martinez, the number 18 Camaro. So got a Ford Mustang and a Chevy Camaro on the front row, but row number 2 has the number 88 of Eric Hutton and the new guy, Richard Thomas, the number 14. We'll be starting on that second row, Finian, but as we let this rest of the scroll across the bottom of your screen, predictions tonight, because I know that Alec Martinez was quite quick here in Cup last season. I think he's got a good chance of winning this. AJ Stravado has switched back to his old number, the number 33, and I think the luck is coming his way.
Yeah, the last few names tick off. The pace car is going to come out of turn 4, and we're going to get ready to go racing here for 40 laps. Short race ahead of us is going to be action-packed. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, 40 laps, really short. That's only a 34-minute race if it goes green from here, Finian. So can they do it? We got about 20 cars coming into the green flag. The 33 of Stravado leads them down. Green flag flies. We're racing at the Brickyard.
Stravado off to a good start as I head off into turn 1. Hutton's also going to try to follow on through, and he's going to try to get second place. He's almost able to do so, and you see Bailey Turner there in 5th trying to move himself up.
Bailey Turner is really aggressive down in turn number 1. It looks like Alec Martinez is under attack from third place starter Eric Hutton, and that spot may trade here early. The inside lane, really the place to be on the initial start. Martinez scrapes the wall, and there comes Robert Gabo to 75. He's taking a look down the back straightaway.
Yeah, remember we were talking about this track, very single lane here. So Martinez just got out of the groove just a little bit. Already got some damage to the right front.
75 to get on through, and then meanwhile back in the field just a little bit. There's the 1 of Yusuf Ghali to the inside of Elliott Butler in the 6, and there is Jeremiah Vincent's number 8 car, and Liam Sheen in 99 in that beautiful NZXT livery car. That was a gorgeous looking paint scheme. But up front, no changes there. AJ Stravado, he led the field to the green. He's going to lead lap number 1 at Indy.
Yeah, and it's already out to a comfortable lead, half a second over Eric Hutton, who's trying to chase him down. There you see for 5th place there, or for 4th place, Bailey Turner pulling out a line, trying to pass Alex Martinez, wasn't able to do so. And also looking at Katie Siolakatis and Elliot Butler stuck back in traffic.
That steel car is the number 9 of Mark Kerr. Another new entry here tonight. He's getting just absolutely run over from behind. That's the one they use with Gali pushing the issue on the exit of turn 2. Now the long back straightaway here, a push, a shove from the 1 car. Maybe using a little bit of that draft, but pops out of line. I think he'll have a look down into turn 3.
Yeah, I think these guys are 3 wide almost as they head off into turn 3, and you see, ooh boy, see Gali just get ahead. And Liam Sheen looks like he backed off. He's now trying to pass the 9 of Kara, who's currently going back.
The 99 didn't get a great run out of that corner, and there's Evan Adams in the Ford Mustang.
Oh, he is way out of the groove.
Yeah, way out of the line. And again, how much of a single lane racetrack it is. We got a car pulling off already, and I think that's Jeremy Miller in the number 30. He's got big damage to that right side.
Oh, and yep, and he pulls off. He didn't get his pistol. That's going to be a retirement, I imagine.
This is down off into turn number 3. Let's ride on board the 30 car.
Oh yeah, you can tell him he's already way out of the groove. Should have waited to get on the throttle. Bam, into the safety barrier.
Yeah, and that's going to lose him a lot of spots here early. So Jeremy Miller out of the running, and that's just frustrating this early in the night to have an issue. But Stravato out up front, and there's another car. That is the 11 of Eddie Trejo, who's already 3 laps down, didn't get a great start here.
Unfortunately, he missed the start of the race. He's currently 3 laps down, so hopefully he can make that back up. But here we see Jeff Wright in the 5 Nesquik car. He's trying to move up through the fields. He's trying to hold off Robert Gavin now for 5th place.
And Jeff Wright, we've seen his talent early. He won at Sonoma in the Outsider Racing League a couple weeks ago. We know he's capable of winning a race, but has yet to do so on an oval this season in any of the 2 series. So looking up forward, you see just up the road that Stravato, he's pulled out to an 1/8 of a second gap over Eric Hutton, and it's Alec Martinez behind. Still getting strung out right now, but right behind Mark Kerr is absolute chaos back here, Finny. Look at this fight. This is all the way back for 12th position. They're racing like it's for first.
Yeah, and Gali got very close to Kerr's bumper. It almost gave him a move out of the way, but that 9 car is holding strong there in 12th. Got a lot of company behind him, though.
The 41 of David Mott Jr. taking a look to the inside of Liam Sheen, but parks back on the groove as we head back up to, that's Richard Thomas in the 14 and Adam Cabot in the 77. They're fighting for 7th.
And you see the 14's out of the line. It looks like the 77 of Cabot's going to have his way, and he's going to move himself up into 7. Richard Thomas, also another new driver and teammate with Kerr in the 9 car.
This fight down the back straightaway. This is for 16th place. Wouldn't you believe it, though? Actually, David Mott Jr., he's got right front damage. Big time here, Finian. He must have gotten in the fence. I'm going to assume down in turn number 3, just like the 30 of Jeremy Miller did, but that 41's going to go backwards quick. Aero is very sensitive here if you get yourself in trouble, very much like Daytona or Talladega.
Yeah, I mean, these cars already have low downforce as it is. You can see pretty small wing on the back, so they don't got a lot of work with it. You see Brian Chambliss to the inside of Kerr, and he goes on by. Now Liam Sheen's going to try to have a move here.
Sticking the nose out to the inside, and looks like he'll take that spot down into turn number 3, but you see the car just push up the hill, Finny. These drivers are really fighting tight conditions. Oh, one in the fence, and so is Sheen. They're both going to be crashing, and the 1 car almost up on his lid, and they're both crashed in turn 3 big time.
Yeah, but since off the track, no caution, but yeah, tough break for both drivers. That was an interesting wreck there. And also surprised to see Gali get into the wall.
Yeah, again, we saw this happening live.
Yeah, you can see already way out of the groove.
And he already had damage to begin with, but he just crashes out here in turn number 3, and big hit. That's concrete there, and frustrating night to the to end Yusuf Ghali's evening. And Liam Sheen's got damage as well. Meanwhile, Ford, actually this is for Eddie Trejo to get his lap back. There's Stravato at 33. And he has extended his lead up to 1 second over Eric Hutton, but right behind Hutton is that 18 of Alec Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez starting to trace back Hutton down. Martinez actually looking pretty strong. I wasn't sure he hit the wall earlier. I wasn't sure if he was going to be a contender here, but here he is trying to fight up for 2nd place.
Out of turn 4, I think patience is going to be the key tonight. Wait to get back on the throttle. It seems like we've seen too many drivers already get in the throttle too soon. They walk up the hill in the middle of the corner, then pancake the wall. And the safer barrier is only really through the corners. And those little straight sections between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, that's just bare concrete. And concrete will dent your car a heck of a lot worse than the safer barrier will.
Yeah, I mean, these guys got to watch the car, watch the handling, and keep track of it as the run goes on, because they're going to have less and less grip as you go through these corners. And again, when you're already close to the wall, as it is on exit, you got to watch that wall and make sure you stay out of it.
Robert Gaba in the 75 car, he is climbed his way up into 5th place. After starting 5th, he's actually under attack from Jeff Wright. Jeff Wright, however, has climbed his way forward, and now he's got Adam Cabot looking at the inside, so no tail light decals on that. 75's on the fence.
Oh, and right in front of Wright, and he had nowhere to go but to brake. That's allowed Lakatos now to get by him.
Yeah, I think drivers were screaming in practice and qualifying how tight the cars were, and you can see it on the racetrack. And once everyone gets strung out here, we got to look on board just to see how frustratingly tight it is.
Yeah,
and how much you have to lift off.
I mean, also, if you just look at their lap time, these guys, we're only 7 laps in our run. These guys are already almost 2 seconds off their pace, which is insane.
Yeah, this early. We're only 8 laps in. We've been racing for about 6 minutes.
And I was curious too if these guys were gonna be able. I don't think they'll be able to make it on fuel anyway. Ooh, is Gabby getting to the wall there?
Yeah, Big Gabby pounded the wall again. But you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying I don't think these guys should be able to make it on fuel. But yeah, even if they were, I'm pretty sure they would still come in halfway for tires. Because again, the amount of time they're losing on it, and just how tight these cars are looking. You can see that Vincent's struggling to get on by.
Jeff Wright's dropped a couple spots. And does he have damage? No, it just looks like he got held up with everyone else getting in the fence.
Yeah, he might be just trying to get back in the groove here.
Alec Martinez has gotten around Eric Hutton for second and is actually chasing down AJ Stravado. Last time through was 0.8 of a second quicker. So that 18 car is coming here, Finney. Look at the run he's got.
Yeah, how about that? And also Hutton, too. And you can see, oh, big cloud over the track right now.
Now, let's keep an eye on the track temp here. It's 108 when we started. It's down to 105. I guarantee you that'll cool off the next couple minutes. 104.
And here you see now Stravado taking the defensive line, letting Martinez work on the outside. Whoa, Martinez with a big crossover. He's going to cross over again. You can see the wheel coming almost off the ground.
Look at this stuff. Don't down into turn 3 contact there.
Oh.
Bumper to the rear of the 33, and here comes the 18.
He is way out of the groove, and you see Stravado barely keep it off the wall. In doing so, he's lost some position, but that's put Martinez up to the lead now.
What a move the 18 did there. Let's ride on board with the 18. It threw that move down off into turn number 3. That was a wild one here, Finney. He did make some contact there, but he just drove on.
And let's run on just a little bit more. I want to see him swerving down the straightaway. That was entertaining to watch. This is something you see in an Indy car. You see the guy swerving. He goes all the way to the white line, back almost to the wall, and then looks in again here, gives Stravado a little bit of a tap. That's enough to send him out of the way.
But Eric Hutton has gotten through to the lead here, Finian, so the 88 was able to take advantage of the momentum lost from both those cars and rocket up to the front. So Alec Martinez will have to try that all over again in a little bit to get his spot back.
And remember how we were looking at how we're thinking that Hutton was a little bit off the pace. It didn't seem like he was too strong. I think it was him saving his tires, and it's really paying the dividends now.
We're a quarter of the way through this race, Finian. We're about 11 laps in now. This race is flying by, so do you really have time to consider stuff? It seems like Hutton has done that, but, I mean, why not just come in now, get tires, and try to short pit everybody?
I think right now, I don't think you want to do 30 laps on these tires. I think the best, you might want to do maybe 19, 20, 21, something like that. Only within a few laps to try to undercut, but nothing as far as 10 laps. I think that's going to be way too much of an undercut.
You see Jeff Wright, he's coming into the pits back from 15th, so he's going to be the first one to come on down. Bailey Turner and Adam Cabot just trading spots. The 77 car up to 4th after starting in 10th, so he's climbed up 6 spots so far.
And also, I want to give a shout out to Reggie Ortega. Said he wasn't able to make it here tonight, which is unfortunate because he's been having a pretty good he's been having a pretty good string of weeks in both VRL and Outsider Racing League. So solid job to him. Hopefully, we'll see him tomorrow night at Kansas, because I'm sure he'll do pretty well there. But you see Jeff Wright now coming out of the pits. He's currently in 16th, still in the lead lap.
Look how much travel there is in that front suspension. That splitter is about 5 inches off the ground. I'm not sure how the setup is playing out, but it seems like drivers are complaining of the tight condition. We're right on board with Richard Thomason's number 14 Motorcraft Ford Mustang. And he's had a pretty good debut here, Finney. We talked about how talented this group of drivers is. They certainly are. He's doing a good job.
And you see him catching up now to Jeremiah Vinci. He's going to potentially be able to get 7th place here. He caught up to him very quickly. In fact, actually last time through he lost some time to Vincent, but that's probably going to swing the other direction here as he's already on his back bumper. And if he can build up a run, he probably won't get him here. Almost try to look, but he'll probably get him going to 1 next time by.
Up front, no changes. Eric Hutton has a half a second lead over Alec Martinez, and then it's another half second back to AJ Stravado. See the 14 up the racetrack. It's the bit, and it seems like as they lay down rubber, they can experiment just going around the lines a little bit.
Yeah, we can look at the conditions.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, 92.
Yeah, I was gonna say because we've been under shade for quite a while, so.
Yeah, so let's look up from up above the racetrack. You see the entire track is in shade. We started this race at 108-degree track temp. It's down to 92, so that's going to change how your cars handle. And conveniently, we've seen a lot less incidents.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure these drivers are loving it right now, especially because they're on the later half of the run. These tires are going to be as worse as ever right now, and definitely the shade is going to be helping them out a lot.
This trio of race cars, this Jeremiah Vincent, Richard Thomas, and the 6th of Elliott Butler. Jeremiah Vincent started 14th. He's up to 7th. He hasn't been involved in any scraps yet today. I'm sure he's glad to have a couple fenders on his car. He has a slight crinkle there, but no big deal compared to a lot of the other cars on the track.
Yeah, you can see Elliott Butler too riding in behind these guys in 9th. Looked like he was catching Richard Thomas and Jeremiah Vincent, but has been able to, and also notably Robert Gamma has come down on pit road.
Keep an eye on the 77. He's right on the tail of AJ Stravato. This would be for 3rd. He looks to the inside off into turn number 2. He's going to drive off in there. He'll just take that spot away. I don't think Stravato will be able to get a good enough run, but he might try to contest this here on corner exit.
I think he's going to give it to him. I think he knows it's pretty much futile fighting anything on the outside unless you've really got a good run going. It's just so hard to maintain a line there. So we're going to see probably, yeah, and also I think Stravato knows that his tires are really falling off the pace, or they're pretty much falling off a cliff. And I think he's going to slowly now drift into the clutches of Bailey Turner behind him.
So lap 14 of 40, closing it on halfway. I think most drivers will split this right down the middle.
I think so. I think that's the most logical. Again, that's my thinking of it. Some guys might try to run out the tank, although I think by that point you're going to be very close to the end of the race. So best thing is to try to cut this in half as much as possible, potentially under pit by a lap or two, just to play out some strategy, because right now these guys are running in the low 54s.
Yeah, again, our best lap time by leader Eric Hutton is at 52.282. Last time through, we ran a 53.931. So a pretty big slowdown, almost 2 full seconds there. Although the slowdown has seemed to drop off, but I think that has a lot to do. Track temperature is now down to 88. That's a 20-degree temperature swing in about, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, this cloud looks like it's not going anywhere. We're talking about. I wonder if it was actually that big cloud we were looking at earlier, because we were under the shade for quite a while.
So working lap 15 of 40, there's a trio of cars, the 8, the 14, and the 6. They've been around each other the last couple of laps, but no one's been able to make a move on each other. And again, Indianapolis is a very tricky track to make passes on. They're pretty content running where they are right now.
And notably up towards the front, it looks like Martinez is slowly starting to reel in Eric Hutton again.
Mentioned it, 53.7 to Eric Hutton's 53.9. I have a hunch that the 18 has been the quickest car out here all night, but just kind of got slowed down with that momentum change. Although it's through turns 1 and 2, he did lose some ground on the 88.
And actually, looking behind them, I think the quickest of the 3 is going to be that 77 we're looking at there. We've seen him kind of slowly driving up to the field now in the later part of this run, and at the rate he's going, he'll potentially catch the leaders here before the pit stops.
Yeah, he is definitely flying, and he has tracked down the leaders the last few times by. We'll take a look at the lap times as they get to the line. But Hutton continues to lead now. It's only 3 tenths. Alec Martinez is much better in turns 3 and 4 than he is in 1 and 2. It seems like that's where he's been able to make his moves, is that end of the racetrack. And we've seen how different they're driving tonight, which is typically not the case for a track that looks so symmetrical, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. But Martinez wide in turns 1 and 2. He misses entry there, maybe trying to get a late apex, but that doesn't seem to work here very well.
Yeah, I would say if you're going to do a late apex, you want to do that out of 2 and out of 4, just because that short shoot is pretty much worth nothing. But here you see now this battle back here for 7th place is starting to heat up with, you see there, Thomas on the inside, and outside of him, Vincent trying to get a fender that can't hit it. Whoa! And Butler with a big checkup, trying not to get into Vincent. They're now side by side.
Richard Thomas up to 7th. And one of the new guys faring quite well. The other one not too bad either. Mark Kerr in the number 9. He's back in 11th, so he's just hanging out for now. The 6 car of Elliott Butler is all over the back of that 14, and I think he wants to make a pass, but he slipped there mid-corner, and he's got to gain all the momentum back, and he lost some momentum to the 8, Jeremiah Vincent, who's going to be right on his bumper at the end of the straightaway. But for the lead, though, these front group have kind of closed each other up. 0.3 of a second to Alec Martinez, and then 2.5 back to Adam Cabot.
Yeah, no, Cabot ran a 53.5 last time through. Very fast time out of his car, and you see now Sun's starting to come back and shine on the track.
So let's see what our low is. 86, so a 22-degree temperature swing at our lowest. And as the sun begins to heat the track back up, we'll see how high it gets, closing on halfway.
And honestly, I was just about to say, depending on how the shade works, okay, looks like it's going back in the shade. I was gonna say if the sun was about to come out like hot, I would say honestly come in now and pit, because as soon as the sun comes back up, these tires are gonna go to dog crap.
Nice.
And speaking of pitting, here comes the leader, as well as Travato in behind him.
Front two guys are going to stay out on the racetrack. That is Martinez and Cabot. I'm surprised Martinez stayed out here with Cabot right behind him. If Cabot gets by him here, it's going to be a loss for the 18. Maybe he wants to beat the 77 to pit road, and he'll let him pass it, then come on through.
Yeah, these guys could be also looking at coming in on lap 20. That'll pretty much cut this in half. But again, want to keep track of both your competitors and keep an eye on the sun and the clouds, because you can see now sun out quite a bit now.
And for the lead, about a tenth of a second separating this group. Eric Hutton and AJ Travato are on pit road. Had a couple other cars pit. The 5 of Jeff Wright, Robert Gaba, and Eddie Trejo have all come to pit road. For the lead, here comes a 77 to the inside. We're closing it in halfway. Adam Cabot's Ford Mustang to the top of the board. 77 to the lead.
Alec Martinez let him on by, and I'm curious if Alec Martinez is going to come down pit road. Yep. And indeed, he is.
And the 77 is going to get left out there, so that's going to give the 18 the track position back if he gets this cycle right. And behind in the background, you see Casey Lakatos has stayed out. There's the 6 car of Butler coming to pit road. There's Bailey Turner in the 24, who will take over third place here as Adam Cabot's up the road 2.8 seconds.
I can imagine most of the field now is probably going to come in within the next lap or so. You don't want to stay out there too long on these tires.
Yeah, I think we're going to see most of the field pit at halfway here, which is going to be next time by. And we've only been racing for about 15 minutes. And again, we talked about how short this race was. It brings up the intensity. Only one pit stop, so you have to get this one right. There's no redos here. No pit road speeding penalties either, and no violations entering or exiting pit road, especially with that access road.
And you very get caught out there, especially because these cars don't turn that well. So you got to make sure you slow down in turn 2 on the apron, otherwise you'll be finding yourself going in the grass.
Cabot's coming.
And all sorts of problems. But yeah, Cabot down on pit road, our leader down, and so Lakatos will now inherit the lead.
And here comes a couple more Fords. That's the 14 and the 9. They're both in. The 14 was in really fast, though, but he got it down the right speed. 20 laps to go. We're halfway through this race, and the Ford Mustangs all coming to pit road.
They're all down getting service. So out of curiosity, where is currently actually the leader out of the entire cycle is actually Jeff Wright, who remember came in very early in the run.
He's got a 5.8 second lead on Eric Hutton, and we'll show you what that looks like. There is Jeff Wright. There is Eric Hutton, a 5.4 second lead. Now Hutton's going to eat into this lead very quickly.
Oh yeah, he's losing tenths every few seconds. He's catching up that quickly. The difference between them is right now is probably about 2 seconds a lap.
Track temp has gained 4 degrees back up to 90. I don't know if that's going to get quite as hot as 108, considering the clouds in the sky, but there it ticks over to 91. So the conditions constantly changing here tonight.
If the sun stays out, it's going to only heat up from here.
Woo! Hutton got real close to the wall out of turn 2. And right behind, you see there's Alec Martinez and AJ Travato, and Cabot lost a ton of ground, staying out a couple extra laps.
Yeah, that's what's going to cost you. But he does have fresher tires, so we'll see how that plays out as all these guys try to close back on it, on each other.
Then will Casey Lakatos in the 50 come to pit road? Will he bring Bailey Turner and others with him?
I think some of these guys here, I'm surprised Turner stayed out, but some of these guys might be trying to run out the tank potentially, and just hope for a caution. Someone just bending it on pit road or just making a mistake.
19 laps to go. It'll be 18 this time through. Lakatos in good wrench number 50. And out of turn number 4, it looks like he's going to stay out. He will. Jeremiah Vincent in the 8 car looks like he's going to come on down. And Chambliss will stay out. Where does Evan Adams pit? Coming out through turn number 3 right now. He's a ways back. But he's the last car who has not made a pit stop yet of this group.
Looks like he's coming down the road.
Nope, staying out.
Just very off the gas.
I think he thought about it for a second and decided against it. So where's Jeff Wright? There he is exiting turn number 4. Eric Hutton, okay, remember how he was about 5 seconds back a lap ago? Hello, he's 1.6 back.
Yeah, and again, not surprised. The difference, if you can look there, pretty much up 2 seconds. 54 flat to a 52 flat.
I think the 18 car is in the best position of any of these guys. I think Cabot maybe waited a bit too long. He lost a lot of ground. I don't know if the couple lap difference is going to be enough for to get back to Martinez. It might be, but we'll see. There's the 18 cars tracking down Hutton as well. Ran 2/10 quicker last time, although Cabot did run 3/10 quicker than any of these cars.
Yeah, it's going to be a long way forward for Cabot. He's quite a few seconds back, and again, doesn't have significantly fresher tires to really drive up there, but we'll keep an eye on his progress nonetheless. I'm also curious on how Jeff Wright's going to approach this race. The leaders have caught him now, and I wonder if he's going to potentially make another pit stop, or he's just going to stay on these tires till the end.
It honestly might be worth it. If you pit right now, it might actually be worth doing. I mean, you could probably make up that difference again, but if you wait too much longer, you're not going to have enough time to get there. Here comes the 18 to the inside of the 5, so now we have a couple other takers on pit road, and Jeremiah Vincent has made his stop. Alec Martinez is going to pass for what will eventually be second place, and putting more cars between him and that 77 of Cabot, who was the quickest prior to the pit stop sequence. Take a look at our lap since pit graphic. You see the top 4, 24 laps on their tires. Jeff Wright, 13 on his. About a lap or 2 difference between Martinez and Cabot, and a 2-lap difference between Cabot and Hutton. And here comes Alec Martinez to the inside, and behind him, as you saw Stravato get by Jeff Wright. But side by side, this is going to be the lead, or what will be the battle for lead, and the 18 car's looking for it again.
Yeah, and it looks like Hutton's gonna let him on by here. I'm actually surprised that Hutton didn't go more defensive. But yeah, new leader in the 18.
Chambliss on pit road. Now, the 18 car, what he has to do now is not beat himself. We saw last week in the Outsider Racing League at Texas, made a mistake after having what was arguably the quickest car there, and ended up throwing that race away. So can he keep his emotions in check and be able to keep his strategy underneath him and keep the car out of the fence, go out and win in one of these races? He's in a fantastic spot right now. Although Adam Cabot is closing from behind.
Cabot is closing, and that's going to be something we've got to keep an eye on. Especially looking at their last lap times. Cabot looks like he's about 2/10 quicker than Hutton. And there's Martinez's name.
He's 1.2 seconds quicker.
Yeah.
Adam Cabot is flying right now on those fresher tires, but they're only a different by about a lap or so. I don't really see that being the big difference. I think he's just flat out quicker at the moment.
I think flat out quicker, and also I think these tires kind of go on a cliff. Like they're really good for a few laps and then just go really bad really quickly. So I think Cabot's still in that good range. He's also, I think, shown a lot last run to be very good at managing his tires, which will definitely help out here in these 15 laps.
He goes to the inside of AJ Stravato to move himself up into 5th place. 2 drivers left to pit, Casey Lakatos and Bailey Turner. We saw Evan Adams jump down the order. He's in pit lane right now. Cabot flying right now with 52.7 to Martinez 53.1 and Eric Hutton's 53.4. Bailey Turner has entered pit lane in the 24. Lakatos continues to stay out on the racetrack, and I don't know about this strategy.
Yeah, I think these are guys just throwing a Hail Mary at it. I think they're just waiting for a caution, but I really doubt we're going to see one unless someone gets into the wall. That's really the only time we're going to see a caution.
The closest we got to a yellow happened early in the race, and this track's got a lot of area to run off if you get into an accident, so I don't see that happening. So with 14 laps to go, Alec Martinez jumps back up into 2nd place, but it will eventually be the lead as Casey Lakatos is out up front by 25 seconds. The pit delta is about 50 seconds around here.
Definitely the lead's going to exchange and then some for Lakatos.
I think Cabot is... I think he's in the best spot now.
Yeah,
the way he's flying.
He's catching Hutton in a hurry right now. You can see how much time he's getting on the straightaway. That's not really due to the draft. It's just the good run he got out of 2.
Off into turn number 3 now. You see the 18 misses marks just up the road, and so does the 88. You really have to be right down on that white line, and he looks to the inside for 2nd place. So
yeah,
actually 3rd now.
I don't know what it is with him. It looks like he's just kind of off with the car. He looked pretty good in the first one. Right now, it looks like he's just struggling with the handling on that thing. So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he's trying to back off, but I would be kind of surprised at this point in the running.
Side by side, a drag race. This is for 2nd place as Lakatos has come to pit road, and Cabot's going to beat him down to the corner. He's 1.2 seconds back. Alec Martinez, he's got 13 laps to get there. I don't think it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The question is, does Alec Martinez have anything to hold him off? And will those tires on the 77 drop off to a similar point? Last time through, it was a 53.6 for Cabot. It's only a 10th quicker, but he did have to pass a car in that lap as well.
Yeah, we're going to start really putting in some good lap times here. We'll see if Eric Hutton's 6 with them, but here we see Jeremiah Vincent and Mark Carrier now fighting for 9th place.
Pass complete. 8th car back up to 9th. We're going to jump back up to the front. The gap is now 0.9 of a second, and you're going to see that continue to drop as we come across the line. And don't let the timing against plenty to it.
Yeah, Martinez does not have a 78-second lead. That would be a lap, or and then some.
I imagine that'll correct itself here. It's dropping. Give it a couple
4.
seconds. There we go. I've never seen that issue before.
I think it might have gotten mixed up when the Locatas came across. I think when they came across the line, they might have passed each other in a weird spot. So nice and fixed now. There you see the actual gap is under a second, 1/8 of a second to be specific.
Notice Cabot's time is only at 53.6 to Martinez 53.9. It's still quicker by a lot, but the advantage is very quickly dwindling for the 77, and it might be to the point where Martinez might be able to hold him off by picking the correct line. We saw Eric Hutton weaving down the straightaway. Not sure what that was all about.
I think that might be just a little bit of frustration. I think we're seeing him struggle with the car. He's just
take a look at this.
I think he's just feeling a little helpless there that he can't get the guys up ahead of him. He's with them, but just can't do anything about it. Either that or he's trying to put heat in the tires. But
I don't think you want heat in the tires. Trying to keep them cool. That's the whole point. Martinez, 0.6 of a second advantage. Let's take a look at our conditions. 97 degrees, so we climbed back up 11 degrees from our lowest point of the race.
Yeah, we say that shade back out.
The wind, 24 miles an hour to the south. That is why we saw such a big discrepancy between turns 1 and turn 3 and C.
So where is the south? Oh, she had a cut. This is
Martinez in the fence, and he's going to crash out of turn 2, and the 18 car is going to throw this race away again as well.
And he's going to try to recover back on the track, and he should be able to pick up 3rd, but man, what a disappointment.
Yeah, and he just continues to beat himself, Finian, and it's so frustrating to watch, because he's been in position to win so many races, and just continues to just throw them in the drain, holding the throttle a bit too long when he shouldn't, and that's going to be an end of a race for the 18.
Yeah, tough break for him. Was leading the race here, had arguably one of the strongest cars, maybe except the 77 of Adam Cabot, but that effectively gave Cabot the lead now, and potentially the win, honestly, as he looks like one of the strongest cars right now, and Hutton doesn't look to be much of a competition at this point.
The only car that's even remotely close is, in terms of being able to climb up to the field and get there, it's probably Bailey Turner in the 24. Actually, Bailey Turner did oh yeah, he did. It's just not showing you.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at the, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Laps since pit. Bailey Turner pitted only 5 laps ago. That's 5 laps sooner than Cabot. He's running better than a second a lap.
Oh, yeah, he'll definitely catch Jeff right up ahead. That's absolutely no doubt in my mind.
He's going to catch a couple more cars.
So he'll get definitely 4th, potentially 3rd. And
he's the only one that's got a chance, though. Hutton's not going to have enough tire to get back to him. So, as we look back, this has just gone right into Cabot's hands. He didn't even have to bother passing the 18. So the 18 is going to come in for service. I think that'll be retirement for him down in 50. Cabot's just sitting in a great spot. Has he been in victory lane yet? I don't think so.
Has not, no, because he did. This is only probably his under 10. Under the map.
He's new to the ORL and
8th or 9th
VRL.
start in between both the leagues. So relatively new driver, but I mean he's in for getting a win here, but we've definitely seen him a lot at the top of the field quite a lot this season here. You see Locatas making a pass on Elliott Butler. He'll get by with ease.
Yeah, I'm still keeping an eye on Bailey Turner's times here, Finian.
Also, I gotta say, that overcut actually looks like it's working pretty well. Because we saw these guys come in very late, and here they are. They pretty much came out where they're running, and they're gaining spots. So
it does seem like it's working. And again, I'm watching Bailey Turner's lap times here, Finney, because he's 9 seconds back from Cabot. There's 8 laps to go. It's a tall order to get there, but it's not impossible. And we've seen this in the past. We saw it. What series was it last season? I think it was Outsiders, where we saw massively split strategies on the tires. And with how abrasive the surface is, it's really playing into the drivers who pit later's hands. And Turner, 0.8 of a second quicker last time. He's going to have to be quicker than that, but he's making up a lot of time. Don't get us wrong. And he's definitely going to get to at least 3rd, maybe 2nd, possibly 1st if he's quick. But right now, Cabot's game to lose.
Well, currently he's doing a great job of keeping Eric Hutton at check. He's pretty much right on par with him, a little bit faster, about a 10th faster than Hutton in a lap. Here we're looking at Stravato in 3rd.
Yeah, AJ Stravato running 3rd after starting on pole and got kind of rooted up out of the lead, maybe a bit disgruntled after that, but Running a solid top 3, that's not bad, but he's going to run away quickly with that 24 car closing in from behind. So we have 7 laps to go now. Bailey Turner has only been able to close up to 8.6. I think he's losing too much time too quickly. Only 6/10 quicker last time, so that tire beginning to fall off for the 24. But I think Stravato's still at risk here.
I would say he's almost definitely at risk here. He's Bailey Turner's running a second faster. You had to do the math with the captain with 4 laps to go. So if I was Stravato, I'd definitely be looking out my mirror.
You can see on the track map there's a 33 heading off into turn number 3. And we'll throw the 77 of Cabot on this as well so you can see the difference.
They're relatively close together. Again, if there are more laps so that they're able to put on into this run, I would say Turner has a potential shot at getting the 77. But with now coming to 6 laps to go, I don't think it's going to be likely.
He's not been able to gain any more ground on this lap. But Cabot's still out front by 1.5 seconds. Eric Hutton has dropped off the pace just a little. He's been able to hold himself relatively close, but Stravato has dropped massively off. So he's now 4.7 seconds back. So as much as Adam Cabot kind of got snookered on the strategy, it looked like it worked out for him in the end. And it seems like the later you can pit, the better off you'll be. As long as you're relatively close to the front from the get-go, you're going to be in good shape to win today.
And I think also, too, he's done a fantastic job of... I think also key too was managing the tires, because he was, you noticed he was slower in the earlier part of the run, but was still running up towards what the front guys ran until they started burning off their stuff, and then he kicked it in overdrive and went up towards them. And even too, when he stayed out those extra laps, what helped was that he was running a little bit quicker, so he was able to keep up that time. And even on this run too, he's done a great job of keeping the tires, managing his stuff. And here he is in the lead. Look
at the track map down the bottom right, or the bottom left-hand side of your screen. You can see the 24 and 33 bubbles getting a lot closer together. The gap between them only 3 seconds. And at this rate, Turner's going to get there, and he could at least pull a podium out of this. But for the overall lead, not going to have enough time to get there. Cabot is just sitting in a great spot. All he's got to do is bring it home. But we've seen drivers make a single mistake before and throw away a race.
Yeah, indeed. No, I was just about to say something. I'm going to wait till after the race to say it.
Ooh, 75 in the fence.
Yeah, and he looks like he's struggling. Got some damage to that car, and
he started off real strong too. Started in 5th, and then just
was looking real strong too. He was fighting up. I believe at one point he was passing Eric Hutton. So it's unfortunate to see him now struggling. He's got Mike Carrier behind him, as well as Richard Thomas.
Yeah, so Mark Carrier and Richard Thomas, both new guys this week, 10th and 11th for them. So pretty good runs. They've kept it out of the fence for the most part and got their cars running well. 4 laps to go for the leaders. No changes out front. There's Eddie Trejo, who started the race a couple laps down, has been unable to get any back with the lack of cautions. They've gone caution-free, and Finian, when we started the race, said here's the 9 car looking to the inside of the 75 now. We said if this race were to go green, to be a 34-minute race. Well, we're about 31 minutes into that. 3 minutes of racing left if it goes green to the end. If the caution comes out from here on out, race is over.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say at the end of the broadcast. I didn't want to say it because I knew as soon as I said that there was going to be a caution. But yeah, this, since you said it, I might as well say it. I was going to say if this goes green all the way, it'll be one of the few races we've done that's, besides the road course, obviously, that's gone green all the way.
Yeah, and Indianapolis isn't typically a place where you see a lot of cautions. So I think drivers are keeping this in mind for the future when we come back here. That this is a race you want to play the long strategy game.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait till we come back here with a cup car, because that's going to be really fun.
Yeah. All right, let's take another look at our conditions. We've been keeping track of this all night, down to 84, Finian. So we started at 108. That's a 24-degree difference by my
Yeah, and it hasn't stayed there. It's gone down, it's gone up, gone down again, gone up again. At several different points, you see probably the sun's out again, it's going to go up. So these guys have been constantly having to adjust to the different conditions on the track. And it's definitely played a factor in for a lot of these guys.
75 of Gabba. This is a battle for 9th. Mark Carrer in the 9th. Oh, he's in the fence!
Oh.
He bounced off the wall pretty hard there.
Yeah, sucks that I was on interesting that I was on the straightaway.
I think they were coming up off turn 2.
Oh, okay. That was a weird... the angle made it look like it was straight.
So, no challenge out front for Cabot, though, Finian. 2.3 seconds up the road. He's just going to be able to coast to this one, as long as he doesn't make a mistake.
I would say pretty much at this point, just has to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. If caution comes out, it's going to be race over. So, as long as he can get to the next 6 turns without any mishaps, he's going to be walking away with it.
There's the gap between first and second, and here comes third, and then fourth, and fifth. There's your gap.
And unfortunately, Bailey Turner hasn't been able to catch Travato.
Yeah, he definitely dropped off the pace. And
So-
Jeff Wright back down on pit lane. Not
Oh,
sure what
I
that-
think he might have mistimed it because
Out of fuel?
yeah, I think he was close on the fuel here.
Well, the race has gone from bad to worse for him. The strategy game did not play out. But we have 2.5 miles to go for Adam Cabot in the 77. You see Eric Hutton weaving behind, just a helpless feeling, nowhere to go. It's kind of a no man's land here, but Adam Cabot, a new entrant to the Outsider Racing League and Virtual Racing League a couple months ago. He has done nothing but perform at the top of everyone's expectations. He's been very humble about his running and his performance. Had a couple great runs, but he hasn't been to victory lane yet this season. He's got about a half a lap to go to get there.
Yeah, indeed. Just again, solid race that he's put together for that car, and that drive he's had was absolutely phenomenal. It's been pretty much the dominant car here from the midway point on. You see Gaba now trying to hold off the 9 of Kerr.
Out of the inside, Kerr goes for a pass. He completed it this time, not quite, but 77 of Adam Cabot. He's going to come off of turn number 4 and back to the start-finish line. Checkered flag waving for Adam Cabot in the number 77 Richmond Ford Mustang. Cabot's a winner in the Virtual Racing League.
Solid job by him. Eric Hutton's going to come home in second. AJ Stravato will come home in for a nice solid third. Bailey Turner fourth. And
Oh, wow. Look
Yeah.
at this. This is side by side. This is for the battle for 6th. To the line is going to be a drag race.
oh, and I think Butler's going to
Oh,
have it.
to
No,
the
it's going to
line.
be Vincent.
Oh,
Wow.
Vincent got him by an inch, and it was 10 thousandths of a second.
Man, if only that was for the win.
Oh, that was awesome there. And to the line, Mark Kerr ended up losing out to Gaba by 0.2 of a second. Wow, what a finish there between 6th place finisher Jeremiah Vincent and 7th place finisher Elliot Butler. Let's go back and watch that one more time. On board of Vincent. They were driving through each other in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, they were, and you can see here, it looked like Butler was going to get him, but Vincent was just able to get a nice side draft off at the line right
Wow.
there.
What a move there. Great stuff. Let's go back and just watch that one more time from up above. And the 6th car, 8 just threw it in there and just drove into the door and just ran the 6 up the racetrack, and then they came back to the start-finish line. And what a crazy finish that was for those guys in 6th. Hot Topic 8 car is going to go P6. But Adam Cabot, burnouts here at Indianapolis. He's the winner for the first time in the Virtual Racing League.
Solid job again for this race. Nice to have him win. It's honestly been definitely earned this one.
Yeah, and strategy was played perfectly. You need to cross your T's and dot your I's, and he did all of the above.
Yeah, also very clean car. I don't think he got into the wall once at all, not even just a scrape.
Yeah, so let's take a look at your results. Adam Cabot, Eric Hutton, AJ Stravato, Bailey Turner, Casey Lakatos, your top 5. Lakatos did really well. Jeremiah Vincent and Butler, a 100th of a second separating them. Then Gaba, Kerr. So Kerr gets top 10 in his first start in the Virtual Racing League. Richard Thomas comes home 11th in his number 14 Ford for his first time. William Troy, we didn't talk about him all night, but a solid 12th place for him. David Mott Jr. 13th. Evan Adams 15th place, and the rest of the order scrolling across your screen. Any surprises tonight? I mean, I think Casey Lakatos did a great job.
Yeah.
And I think had he had a little bit longer of a race and been closer to the front, you would have had a shot to win.
Yeah, as he finished within 10 seconds. He's also been another driver who's been having quite a few good runs as of recent. So
We'll talk to him in a
Yeah,
little bit. All right, we're going to jump to break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We need your help. The Grid Life Motorsports Festival is allowing us to visit Gingerman Raceway in May and Road America in September to commentate broadcasts for the new Grid Life Touring Cup Series. This would be our first opportunity to call real-world racing, but we need your help to get there. We're selling SimTV gear as a fundraiser to help us travel to these events. Click the link in the description and use code FAST to get access and help us out.
Welcome back live here to SimTV. We're here now with 5th place finisher Casey Lakatos. Casey, a strategy there that didn't quite pay off, but you moved your way all the way back up into 5th. Had you been a bit closer towards the beginning of that run, I think you would have had a shot at the win. But a solid strategy there gets you a top 5. Walk us through this night.
So, as you might have seen, it was beyond tight. The cars were pushing unless you were behind somebody, which is shocking. I know. I had the car offset so far and the brake bias so far back, I got loose twice and don't know how I saved it. But just 50 car was out here to have some fun tonight. We did just that, got a top 5 finish, proud of the team. Really not much to say. We did take a late pit stop. I was hopeful that our tires were just so much better than everybody else. We just make passes like they're standing still. But we didn't have enough time to get back up there. And honestly, Bailey took a late pit stop with me. So him and I were basically on the same tire strategy. So it didn't work out for me to catch back up to him even, but still solid night for our team. So I'm happy just to come hang out with you guys and do this race. I love Indy.
Yeah, Casey, we saw a 24-degree temperature swing from the lowest to the highest temperature. How did that affect the race car, and how did the wind affect the driving and handling off into turn 3? We saw a high of 24 miles an hour down there.
Really, our strategy, and I'll get to the temperature in just a moment, but the strategy for at least our team was back up the corners as much as we can. Take it in slow, try to drive it off hard, get it out to as close to the wall, use as much track as you can. To get that run down the straightaways. It seemed like it worked out, saved our tires a little bit for at least a longer run. Temperature-wise, when the clouds did come out and have that swing, it did seem like the cars could drive a little bit deeper into the corner, but with the heat, it wasn't making. It was still just sliding. Front end was still sliding. The rear end wasn't getting anywhere near loose unless you had the brake bias, like I said, at basically half and half. So.
A top 5 finish for Casey. Congrats on the run there. It was a great job there, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Finian. Hope you have a good night.
Thank you. You too. All right, next we're going to talk to 3rd place finisher AJ Stravato, who started from the pole tonight, but just didn't quite have the strategy planned out to get back up to the front. AJ, a good run for you, but he disappointed. I mean, you started on pole and held the lead for a little while until you got rooted up out of the way, but then you ended up coming home in P3. So satisfied with the night or a little bit disappointed?
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with the way I drove, and sorry if my mic quality's a little bit off. But yeah, I mean, I started off well, and I had about a second lead right there, and I kind of scraped the wall, getting out of 2 or 4. One of those, I believe. The setup was just drove like a dump truck, but got to drive with what you're given, and I think it was just netcode, me and Alec. It's not a big deal. It happens. It's racing. He was clearly faster at that point anyways, because I had a little bit of damage, but with the luck I've had between VRL and Outsiders, I'll take a 3rd. It's a little disappointing because I think I had race-winning speed, but I'll take it for now.
All right, AJ. Well, a great result either way, even though it was a couple spots short of where he wanted to be. AJ, thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely, man.
All right, next we're going to talk to 2nd place driver Eric Hutton, who finished in the 2nd position in that number 88 car. Eric, the strategy didn't quite play out. Got kind of beaten on fresher tires. That 77 at Cabot just had a lot of pace towards the end. What'd you need to get back by the 77 and take home a victory tonight?
Yeah, I was just burning up that right front. The setup was just so tight, and I couldn't figure out 2 and 3. 3 just felt like when you hit the brakes, it just got on the splitter until you had to slow down like 50 miles an hour before it would turn again. But yeah, it's just not my thing, and I guess pitting early wasn't the right choice, especially since I was in the lead. I guess I should have waited, I don't know, lap 21, 22. But 2nd place is all right.
Yeah, 2nd place, Eric. I was talking to Casey Lakatos about this, but we saw a 24-degree temperature swing and 24-mile-an-hour winds down the back straightaway. How did that affect the handling of the race car over the course of a run?
Yeah, I think we practiced in like 80. The track was 86 degrees maybe, and when we went to qualifying, it was like 106. So just screwed everyone up, I think, and you really had to focus on not overdriving and just saving that right front and not hitting the wall. And I think that's what Adam did.
Eric, a solid 2nd place finish. The results have been coming for you. Congrats on a P2, and we'll talk to you next week.
I appreciate it. See you.
And last but certainly not least, the driver of the number 77 of Adam Cabot. Adam, your first victory here in the Virtual Racing League at a very special racetrack. You just kind of outsmarted everybody tonight and pitted just a touch later, but not too late, just to manage to get back by those drivers in the closing stages. And then the 18 car ran himself up into the wall, and you were able to just cruise on through and take home a victory. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, really cool to get my first VRL win. It's pretty surprising. My only goal before the race, I always overdrive, so I was just like, you know what? I'm just not going to hit the wall, not going to burp my right front, and just see what happens. I'm like, if I finish 15th, fine, 10th, fine. And then I just slowly kept climbing up, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting there in third, and I'm still gaining. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let these guys pit, wait a couple laps, cut it directly in half, because that race, you pretty much knew it was going to go green. I'm sure it was. Sure, you guys were searching for things to talk about, but I guess past Eric for second, and then I think I was going to catch Alec, but I was just trying to be patient and keep braking early and saving my stuff, and then he got up in the wall there. And after that, I knew I pretty much just had to hold my line, not miss any of my points, my braking points, and just hope that Eric didn't put on a late race charge there. And probably a pretty boring race to watch, but I'm happy because I got my first win, and hopefully I'll get my first ORL win tomorrow night.
Absolutely, Adam. One of the things we've been talking about all night and through the interviews as well is the track conditions changing so wildly. We saw a 24-degree temperature swing and 24-mile-an-hour winds off into turn number 3. Did that change? Did it make the track drive asymmetrically? It seemed like the speeds into turn 3 were about 7 to 10 miles an hour higher than turn number 1.
It totally did. I noticed that in practice. I kept just hitting the wall coming out of turn 2 and just overdriving turn 3. And I looked in practice and saw that there's like 20-mile-an-hour winds. So I started just braking stupid early a few laps into the race going into turn 3. And the second I started doing that is when I started gaining on people. So I just kept doing that, I felt like underdriving the car. And, sometimes that's, I guess, what you got to do. You got to, you slow down to go fast, and slow down to go fast was how I won this race tonight. So, I thought that was bizarre. I guess it was set that way with that 20-mile-an-hour wind, but it definitely made the track trickier to drive.
Adam, go get your flight to Kansas. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll see if you can sweep the weekend. Congratulations on your first win. See you tomorrow night.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. No
problem. All right, Finian. Well, Indianapolis, new winner at VRL, and quite the interesting race strategy-wise. Indianapolis always seems to put on a show, even if it's not directly just the drivers racing each other, which we saw some action tonight, but mostly strategic, rather, and put on a great race.
Yeah, indeed. And the next time we are going to come here, we're going to, I've been hyping it up for a thing I'm really excited for, because it's a whole different type of racing with the Cup package. It pretty much races like the IndyCar. I was in a race a few weeks ago when the new build just came out, and people were swerving down the front straightaway like it was an IndyCar.
Yeah, this track in the past has put on kind of boring races, but the last 4 or 5 times that we've gone here on Sim TV, it's put on a great show. But that's going to be it for us tonight. A short broadcast, albeit a very exciting one. So tomorrow night is Kansas Motor Speedway for the Outsider Racing League. We'll see you there at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Sunday, we're off, but Monday, we're back with Three-Wide Racing League Daytona. What are they calling it this time?
Prelude to the 250.
Prelude to the 250, whatever they're going to call it. Daytona qualifying race, essentially. We'll see you there on Monday night at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Fuel returns at New Hampshire on Tuesday at 9. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a fantastic night, and we'll see you later.